What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What is up? How are y'all doing today? I am so happy to have y'all here. It is Wednesday. That means we about to talk about Ahsoka. I am really liking where we're going. I am really liking it. But guys, just a heads up for you. If you're new, I don't know how you're new coming in now on episode 6. But I gotta give it to you. It's a spoiler alert. If you have not watched the whole episode of episode 6, we're going to talk about it. This is where we're going to give our reaction and our ratings as well at the end of it, and talk about it. So that's your spoiler alert. Okay, that's it. And of course, if you do want to chime in and share some of your thoughts with some of the livest of the live chats and all of YouTube, all you got to do is become a subscriber, and you too can join in. But where are my manners, guys? I am Emmanuel Eman Noisette. For all you newcomers out there that are here, like, yo, what is this? Well, we about to talk about the episode, go through everything, share our thoughts, theories, questions, whatever, and just have a good time. That's all. But first and foremost, I gotta see who is here with us tonight. Let's see. Of course, come on through, repping for the Mod Squad. We got Kristen Pratt. Thank you so much. And of course, if you like what you see or what you hear, if you're having a good time, go ahead and hit that like button. And by the way, hit that subscribe too. If you hit the subscribe, you can comment and you can support the channel at the same time. But thank you so much, Kristen. I always appreciate your assistance and support of the channel. Last of my kin is here. What is going on? Good to see you. Joy, good to see you. Thank you so much. I like the way that they both came in the chat, right? Johnny Washington, my man, thank you so much. Oh no, this is all Rebels season 5. Like, this is not. I mean, I guess some people could walk into Ahsoka and maybe kind of have an introduction, but nah, this feels like season 5 of Rebels is just a straight up continuation. It doesn't have the same introductory feel the way like Mandalorian did, right? Like Mandalorian, anybody could have just walked into that, whether you was a diehard Star Wars fan or a new fan, you could just walk into that. With this, nah, they ain't pulling no punches with this one. But good to see you. Thank you so much. Kid Mello, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. Mr. Mitchell, thank you so much. Come on through. We got Ms. Harper. Always a pleasure. Thank you for being here and holding it down with the Mod Squad as well. Treese, how are you doing? Thank you so much. Rachel, good to see you. We got another Mod Squad homie with Rim 17. Thank you so much for holding it down. Always appreciated. Elena, hello. Thank you so much. Who said I didn't like Silo? Who said that? I didn't say I didn't like Silo. I just said I'm starting it. Like, I'm on episode 4, I think. It's okay. It's cool. It's cool. Unless that question was for somebody else. But no, Silo's okay so far. I haven't gotten all the way to the end, but it's cool. And I have not started Foundation yet. So I don't know. Maybe you're thinking of someone else. Now I did say I didn't like the Changeling. Now the Changeling, which is on Apple, that I didn't care for. That no. Like, started off real good, then it went off in a direction that I just was not feeling. So maybe you got me confused with somebody else, or maybe you misheard. But Silo and Foundation, I ain't got no beef with them. No, they good in my book. Let's see. Tasha, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. EB, what is going on? Thank you so much. My man Didier's here as well. What is up? How are you doing? We got Christy in the building. Thank you so much for being here. Leandra, how you doing? Who else I saw? That wait. Oh, just refreshed. All right, Kristen, there you go. How you doing? Corey, what's up? Stu, how you doing? Jesus, hello. We got the homie intergalactic space captain. Good to see you, ma'am. Zia Latrice, how's it going? Theo, what is up? My man Kev is back in the building. Denny, how you doing? Jason, thank you so much for being here. My man CJ is here. Carbro, good to see you. Uh, you want to listen? I think, listen. Time has passed. There's been a lot of time. Listen. There's been I need y'all to realize a whole 10 years has gone by. Like last time you saw Thrawn, my man was, nice and fit and all that stuff. Look, 10 years, you can go from like nice and fit to a dad bod very easily. Okay. Take it from someone with experience. Okay. So I understand, I understand. But yeah, my man gained a little couple pounds, it happens. It happens. Who else we got in here? Fighting Evil. Thank you so much. Oh man, go see it. You gotta hurry up and go see it. Talented one, good to see you. Let's see. T Mac, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I think we're all caught up. All right, guys. So let us go into the actual episode here and talk about everything that went down for the most part. So last time we left off, Ahsoka had the bright idea to go ahead and jump inside the whale's mouth and hitch a ride. So we see the Purrgil here going through hyperspace. We don't know if they're going to take him to the home planet or drop him off somewhere else. We have no idea. Ahsoka has no idea, but whatever. She's down for the ride. Anyway, while they're riding, she tells Huyang that Sabine actually went with the enemies willingly. And as she detected this from that force echo power that we saw her use last time. And this kind of caught Huyang off guard. He was like, "What?" Like, I mean, and keep in mind, Huyang has been giving Sabine nothing but petty grief since forever. Be talking about how she ain't force sensitive, how she one of the worst students, but this really caught him off guard. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, even as an android, he really underestimated just how much she had an emotional connection to Ezra, and that's going to be something that keeps coming up throughout this episode, is just how strong that bond really is and how it's really becoming a defining point for her character. So Ahsoka, kind of sensed it, of course, but I think almost everybody, maybe even Ahsoka, everyone really underestimated how deep she really, like, listen, she is a Ezra ride or die. Sabine is gonna do, she crossing galaxies. Listen, find you someone in your life that will hyperspace they self across the galaxy just to come talk to you. Woo, man. I don't know if that's sisterly love or if that's love. I don't know, but that's strong. It's strong. But anyway, Huyang and Ahsoka, they start talking about the old times and catching up on some of the old stories and stuff. And it was interesting because they started to mention the history, like in the beginning, like the beginning, of the galaxy, and how Huyang used to tell these stories to all the young Jedi Padawans and the young kids at the time. But I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, yo, this sounds interesting as hell. Like, I will take a complete side spin-off Star Wars story that's all about in the beginning and a galaxy far, far away. Okay, yeah. We get the whole little context of the, Star Wars connection, but give me a sequel or give me a series that is all about the beginning. And I'm not talking about Knights of the Old Republic or the beginning of the Jedi. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about, for Star Wars, show me what it was like in the beginning. I want to see, like, what was here. Did y'all start with a big bang? Did something happen with the Force? Is there some other creator out there? Like, I want to see all of that stuff before the Sith, before the Jedi, maybe back when the Force was in balance, like completely. Whatever it is, man, I would love for them to do a sideshow about that. If you would like that, let me know as well. But I just thought that was very interesting when they brought it up. Anyway, we fast forward here. Sabine is locked up. Of course, remember, she did go with the enemy willingly. So she is now currently locked up. And Baylan does come to visit her. And when he goes back, he does acknowledge once again that Sabine's focus on Ezra is what blinds her. And it does. Like, that's literally why she's here. But Morgan said that this planet, I think they called it Maris Peridia or something like that. She said that it was kind of like the home world of her people. Now, her people were the what is it, the Dothmari or something like that? Basically, the Night Sisters, you know. And she said that they used to actually ride the space whales. So riding the space whales through hyperspace, you know, I guess it was just a more organic way of doing things before spaceships were around, you know. So again, if you're gonna give me a prequel series, I'd love to see stuff like that, you know. But she says here that this planet is basically where her people used to reside. And you know, Baylan also mentioned that this place is kind of like a graveyard for them space whales, the Purgil too. You know, this is like where they come to die. But even this planet, this galaxy, all of this stuff is like a big fairy tale almost for Jedi, because they only heard these stories growing up, but they didn't really know if the stories or the legends were true or not. So, you know, seeing all of this is kind of like a bit of a wonder for them, you know, and it is kind of, I guess, intriguing as well. But I will say, when they pulled up right here, I got a little giddy because when I saw them three little red hoods, them three little cloaks, I was like, yo, are we really doing this? And yes, we are. We actually got the Night Sisters in live action. This right here is a nice little payoff for anybody. Once again, if you've watched Clone Wars and you watch Rebels, this is, you know, I would say a nice little treat to get this. And it was funny because the second they got there, they was like, nah, this stank. That stank right there. Stank of Jedi. Just stank. You know, and she was over there looking around her shoulder. Nah, they was talking about you, Sabine. You stank. And they said she stinks and reeks of Jedi, but they also called her dangerous. Now, I will explain why that is. But just keep in mind, they're dropping little hints. But they called her you know, reeking of Jedi, and that she was dangerous. And I thought it was funny that they also called her an it, you know, as well. But the whole reeking of Jedi thing, I think, and y'all chime in and let me know what you think. I think this might have more to do about how they can sense maybe Ahsoka on her. I don't know if it's a force thing or not, because both Baylan and Hati, they also use the force, and they didn't say that they stunk of Jedi. You know, so I'm wondering if maybe the Night Sisters were more so like, nah, y'all maybe just stink of the light side of the force, you know, because if you guys recall, with all the green magic and the smoke and stuff like that, the Night Sisters, they tap into kind of like the dark side, but they do it in a very different way than the Sith do. You know, they don't do it with the same you know, approach, so to speak. So it is kind of interesting that they get like this, I don't know, sixth sense, or that maybe they allergic to the force or whatever, to the light side of the force. But they don't like it, basically. And let's see, then we got oh, they take Sabine out of here because they just like, yeah, we don't trust it, so get out of here. Let's see, I got a question, let me grab this real quick. Oh man, Rims coming through, blessing the channel. Thank you so much, Rims. Missed the EFAM so much. We missed you as well. If karma is a beast, then life is a savage. Please keep my family in your prayers if you can. My dad is battling cancer. Oh no, and it's not for the weak. Praying that everyone is staying safe and protected. Oh my gosh, Rims. I am so sorry to hear that. We are definitely gonna keep Daddy Rims, you know, up in our prayers and thoughts, and sending all the positive vibes your way and his way, because that is not an easy thing to you know, to deal with. But at the same time, you know, hey, you never know what could happen. I'm praying for the best for you guys though, one way or another. So you definitely got that coming your way from the EFAM for sure. But thank you so much for supporting the channel the way that you do. I really do appreciate it. Um, let's see. We got Baylan. Okay, so Baylan, he's reflecting on how, again, this planet and this galaxy was kind of like a folk tale for him. And he mentioned how, back when he was like Hati's age, that he saw everything around him that he knew burn. And basically he was referring to the Jedi temple. So I think this alludes to the fact that he was around for Order 66, back when the Emperor, or Palpatine ordered to have all the Jedi killed. Now he also said that with history, everything, all of this stuff is inevitable. That includes the fall of the Jedi, the rise of the Empire, the fall of the Empire, and the rise of the New Republic, and so on and so on. And of course, as we know, if we fast forward, 20, 30 years in the future, we know that Snoke, Kylo Ren, and Palpatine all return. So again, this whole juggling act with the Force, it just keeps on going back and forth, right? And Hati kind of asked, like, okay, well, if this thing keeps going back and forth, like you said, then that means it's our turn, right? Like, we about to run things, because the Jedi are falling, and like the Empire is about to rise up. Like, we up to bat, right? And he was like, nah, that ain't what's happening. That kind of power is fleeting, and he's not wrong. Like I just said, you have all of these, the Jedi fall, the Jedi come back, the Empire falls, the Empire comes back. That is true. It is fleeting. But Baylan said that he seeks the beginning to bring the cycle to an end. So now this sounds like there was something in the old stories, maybe an ancient power that might bring, I don't know, a different kind of power to the table, or maybe it balances the force in a different way. I'm not really sure, but if y'all have any ideas of like what y'all think Baylan could be alluding to, please let me know, because I'm definitely open to any other suggestions. By the way, you see these three wolves. They're still, I think those are wolves. I don't know if it's the other animal that we saw later, but I just think that this was like another sign, especially from Rebels, because Ezra has like that connection with wolves, and Dave Filoni loves wolves for whatever reason. But I don't think it was a coincidence they threw those little wolves in there. We go to the jail, and of course Sabine is trying to force push herself out of there. And again, we're getting teased that she got the force in her, but psych, it wasn't her. It was actually Grand Admiral Thrawn's ship flying in. And this is where we see something interesting. I don't know if y'all caught this, but like when we see these stormtroopers, notice how filthy they are. Just look at how dirty all of them are. Now, keep in mind that these stormtroopers have been around for at least 10 years. I think, and they've been stranded on this planet. It's not like, this planet is kind of dying in a sense. But I think, and I could be wrong, I think that these soldiers were actually resurrected. Now, if you guys recall, remember Merrick, the Inquisitor, he was resurrected with the Night Sisters magic, and Thrawn is working with the Night Sisters. So I think that this could be one of those situations where his deal has something to do with, hey, if you resurrect my army, give me these soldiers, I'll give you, I don't know, whatever. Maybe he'll free them. I don't know, whatever the deal is. But I would just say be on the lookout for these characters, and even this guy too, the head guy, Enoch or whatever. Be on the lookout for when they die. If they die, let's say in a lightsaber match or something, be on the lookout for a puff of green smoke. If you see any green smoke, that is going to let you know that, yeah, they really were resurrected dead bodies. And it's basically like a zombie, herd of, or army at this point. But enough of that. My goodness, y'all. Finally, we actually get to see the man himself, Thrawn. Yes. After all this time, even though I said I did not like the idea that they showed Thrawn in the trailers. I know you got to get hype up and stuff like that. I'm still stay on the record by saying I feel like this would have had a deeper impact had they let Thrawn actually show himself in the episode and not leak not put it in the trailers. So because to me, I was like, well, I kind of saw this coming. Like you could have had my mind racing all this time on is that Thrawn? Is it somebody else? But whatever. But hey, whatever. He's here. You know what I'm saying? I know the cheekbones ain't as high as some of y'all wanted them to be, but yo, he's here either way. Shout out to the dad bods, one way or another. But the Night Sisters, the three of them, they was like, yo, and by the way, it's kind of one thing to kind of think about the Night Sisters is if you've ever read Macbeth or Greek mythology, they're kind of like those three witches, from those stories. They share similarities in terms of how they do, fortune telling and reading the future and stuff like that. But remember earlier when Ahsoka talked about how Sabine made a choice, to like go after Ezra, and she alluded to the fact that her choice might be a matter of fate, like it was predestined for Sabine to make this choice to go after Ezra, etc., etc. Now, what's interesting here is the Night Sisters talk about the prisoner, and they say something very important when it comes to Sabine. Not only did they say that they couldn't see her in their visions, but they called her a loose thread. Now, just so you understand, these threads, when it comes to fate, destiny, they're usually compared to like these threads, where you can read the thread and you can be like, oh yeah, this is supposed to happen, then this, then this, and this. And those threads basically are the beginning and the end of time, destiny, whatever you want to call it. But the fact that they're calling Sabine a loose thread, that really just implies that she's pretty much a wild card. So, in other words, in Star Wars, yes, they were able to predict some things, right? They were able to predict that Thrawn was going to get the help from Morgan and get that, and be able to escape, right? They were able to predict that. But they were not able to not only see, but they couldn't predict who or what Sabine is or was or what she will do. So, what this kind of gives me the impression of is yes, things in Star Wars are fated, right? There are certain things that are destined to happen. But at the same time, there are also loose threads that exist, which means there's always the possibility that they can change something. So it's kind of like it's determined, but not really, So it's just a sneaky little way for them to kind of add a little plot device, I guess. But if anything, this really just kind of goes back to proving that Sabine is not they called her dangerous before, but she's dangerous because they can't see what she's going to do. They don't know. They can't predict anything with her. So she could mess up all their plans for all we know. But I did like the fact that they included that, and I thought it was kind of interesting that they would kind of toss that in there. Talented one, what you got? I completely agree. They were called night troopers in the closed caption. Oh, I didn't even see that. Good catch. I thought the exact same thing. The run on Night Sister juice. Yeah, they on that Night Sister gas for sure. But no, that's now that makes more sense. I'm more convinced now, because why would you call them night troopers? So yeah, they definitely are. I think risen from their magic or whatnot. All right, let's go back. So yes, Sabine is clearly a wild card. We got to stay, abreast about that and see what happens. But it definitely got the Night Sisters a little bit spooked, because they're like, yo, we not used to this. Like we're used to knowing what will happen and what things determine other things, but we don't know this. But anyway, Thrawn was like, he finally met up with Baylan, and he learned that Baylan was, not just another Jedi. And he even talked about like, oh, you left the Jedi? Yeah, I know a couple Jedi that did stuff like that. And he was more than likely talking about Anakin Skywalker. And he also recalls Sabine, because Baylan mentioned that the prisoner was Sabine, and he was like, "Oh, Sabine, yeah, me and her go way back. Oh yeah, I remember her. Yeah, I remember her back in Rebels." And again, you should be watching Rebels if you haven't. But yes, Sabine has obviously gone head to head against Thrawn in terms of disrupting his plans and fighting against them. So now that they had like this little reunion, this was definitely something interesting for Rebel fans, right? For because he remembers her and she remembers him. Um, but Thrawn says here, he's like, yo, I'm actually gonna honor Baylan's promise to give you what you were looking for, and that was basically to find Ezra. So but something that Sabine said was kind of interesting here to me. And it was kind of like Thrawn mentioned how Sabine was going to use her singular focus to find Ezra, which could jeopardize the whole galaxy. So, what does that mean? That means that, Sabine was so hyper focused on getting Ezra that it literally jeopardized, it literally put everything up for grabs, because clearly Thrawn could get set loose and he could conquer everything. And he was like, "You did all that? You gonna let your whole galaxy run amok and let me run wild for Ezra?" And she was like, that type of focus is something you will never understand. And why I thought that was important was because Thrawn actually admitted that she's probably right. That you're right. Like, I might not understand that. And the reason why this is a little important, I think, is because Thrawn is he's the kind of guy who, if you thought Batman in prep time was a thing, Thrawn puts that to shame. Like, Thrawn is like, yo, I want to understand everything. I want to know how my enemy thinks. I want to learn how they feel. I want to know. He wants to know every little detail about his opponent so that he can outthink them and out strategize them and eventually conquer them. So the fact that they kind of threw this little nugget in there, that for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe Thrawn will never understand love, or maybe Thrawn will never understand the bond of friendship, whatever kooky thing they want to call it. I think this could point to a potential weakness or maybe the downfall of Thrawn in some way, shape, or form. Because if it's something that he doesn't understand, that's something that can be used against him later on. So just kind of keep that in mind. I don't know if it's going to break everything or whatever, but I just thought it was kind of interesting given how much this dude really, really likes to understand everything about his opponents. Oh my God, Tyrone, my goodness, yo, thank you so much. Wow, thank you, man. That was so nice of you, man. I appreciate it. I don't know if there was a comment attached to that or if that was a super sticker, but either way, Tyrone, brother, thank you so much for holding it down on the channel, man. Thank you, man. That's way so very generous. Thank you so much. Let's see, Omar, what you got? Thrawn looked like he was about to serve up some tea and crumpets, not very intimidating at the moment. So what's interesting about that though, this is Thrawn. Like, Thrawn is not that kind of guy. Now, don't get me wrong, he's thrown hands, right? He's thrown a couple hands in Rebels, nothing crazy, but he's not a fighter. He's a thinker. His most dangerous weapon is not about like, oh, I'm just gonna scare you because I'm big, mean, and I got red eyes. Nah, he's just like, I'm gonna outthink you. Like, matter of fact, when I talk to you, I probably already beat you 5 different ways and you didn't even see it coming. So, what makes Thrawn so dangerous and intimidating is not his physical appearance or nothing. It's about what he's capable of. It's about what an unleashed Thrawn with unlimited resources, that's scary. That's why they are so adamant about trying to keep him where he's at and keep him cut off. Because if you give this dude an inch, he gonna run with that for a whole mile. So, I agree with you. Man, come on now, man. Come on. Any one of us could go beat up Thrawn. Stop it. Come on now. I trip Thrawn. Man, get out of my face. But but no, that's not his main thing is like, yeah, you don't want him thinking about you in a nasty way because he will mess you up like in so many different ways. But thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Let's see, Shogun, what you got? I don't know, man. Thrawn not understanding Sabine is about like saying he doesn't understand her insanity, kind of. Yes. I see where you're going with that, and I think you're on the right track. Um, Thrawn has always been a very logical thinker, right? So even though he will go out of his way to understand people's cultures and understand their ways of life, he'll listen to their music, like he'll do all these things to understand them. At the end of the day, he's still a logical thinker. So when you come listen, I've said this just in life. Logic and emotion don't go together. Don't ever come to somebody who's emotional and bring up a logical argument or a logical position. You're going to lose. Not saying you're going to be wrong. I'm saying you're just going to lose. Okay, because emotion does not always make sense, and clearly what Sabine was doing, she threw logic, probability, danger. She threw all that out the window just to go find Ezra. Never mind the fact that you about to unleash one of the biggest threats to the entire galaxy while you're doing it. But all that for what? For him? For Ezra? Like, what are we even talking about? Like, I don't know. Anyway, so yes, I think it's not so much the insanity, but I think it's more so the emotional appeal. Like it's not gonna make sense because it never really does. But anyway, thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. See, I see y'all see other examples of emotional decision making that don't make sense. All right, so let's see. Now again, okay, so Thrawn said that he was basically going to let her go. And that's exactly what happens, right? They give her this horse dog thing or whatever, they give her a lightsaber and they send her off. They're like, all right, go ahead, go ahead and find Ezra. Now, I'm a little disappointed. That Sabine is a whole Mandalorian. You had training from a Jedi, and you didn't realize that this was a whole setup. Really? Like she that dumb? You didn't think that you really thought that the enemy that you helped banish for 10 years was finna sit here and just be like, it's all good. Go on out. Hey, you want some juice? You want some juice on your way out? Hold on, let me get you some juice. Girl, hold on, let me get you some juice and take this pistol too and this lightsaber. Go on to have you a good old trip. You want some crackers too? Hey, listen, we got some space crackers. Hey, give her the good stuff. You thought that they really was gonna let you just run wild with no catch? Nothing? Look at Sabine's face. Look at her face. She was just like, oh, okay. I guess I'm just gonna take this. Okay, this is gonna be just fine. Nothing wrong here. Meanwhile, Thrawn was like, yeah, when she go out there, go ahead and go kill him. Yeah, we gonna honor it, all right, but go ahead and go kill him. And he gave the green light to both Sabine, to Hati and Baylan. And basically was like, yeah, like we're not breaking our promise. We just gonna add a little extra spice to it. That's all. Anyway, while Sabine is out there, she does run into some people that ambush her, and of course, she makes some light work of them with the lightsaber and all that. But as this is all happening, her tracking device that she was using to find Ezra does get damaged. And in the meantime, both Baylan and Hati go out to go after her. While this is happening, Thrawn got the intergalactic U-Haul together. They packing up, they getting ready to get out of here. But Thrawn reminds Morgan that he doesn't even care if them Jedi live or die. The main goal was to get out of the galaxy. And I need y'all to understand, this is what I'm talking about when I say Thrawn is brilliant. Let's think about this for a second. How many times have we seen the bad guy in whatever story come up with an evil plan, right? And what's the one thing that they usually do that that messes up their own plan? They usually will have the hero compromise. Maybe they tied him up. Maybe they lock him up. Maybe they hang him over, hang him upside down over some lasers or sharks or something, right? And then they walk away. They walk away and they let the hero have time, unsupervised, figure out a way to escape. And then all of a sudden, that hero comes back and foils their plans, right? This happens literally in almost every single type of story like this. However, Thrawn was like, hey, quiet. However, Thrawn was like, nah, I'm not doing that. What I am going to do is I'm going to let her go out in the wild. If she dies, she dies. And I'm going to let her go find Ezra. And if she does find Ezra, whatever, because not only do I have my little army that could go take care of them, but I also got two other little semi-Jedi that can go kill them for me. So you got your army, you got these Jedi, and you got them going over there to prevent. Okay, it's a prevent defense to prevent Sabine and Ezra coming back and foiling their plans or whatever. And the whole time he's like, look, I don't even care if they die. I'm just trying to get out of here. Brilliant. This is brilliant. Okay, I'm telling you, this man set a whole diversion tactic, because even if you're not going to win, you're not going to lose. Okay, he is planning right now not to lose, and I love it. So this is one of the reasons why I love Thrawn, just because my man comes up with these plans and ideas, and it's like he's always thinking a couple of steps ahead of everyone else. Anyway, we see Sabine here. She is still looking for Ezra. And she really can't find any trace of him, but she does find this space ninja turtle. It apparently has the same symbol as Ezra. That's the symbol that they used to have in Rebels. And apparently this little ninja turtle had the same thing and was like, oh, got you. You needed Ezra. We know Ezra. We go way back. That's my boy. That's me and the fam. You see the fam right here. Come on through back to the crib. We will show you where Ezra's at. So they lead them all back to go back to find Ezra. Meanwhile, Baylan is on the hunt for Sabine, and he found the site where she was ambushed. Now, Hati had asked him if Ezra was kind of like her. And he said that like Ezra was called what he called a Boken Jedi. And one thing to kind of keep in mind is Star Wars always likes to use Japanese cultural references and stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, a Boken is like a wooden sword that they use. So think of it as a substitute, right? A wooden sword is a substitute sword. So in the same sense, Ezra is kind of like not a real Jedi because he didn't have formal training, but he was taught and trained to be a Jedi outside of the temple, out in the wilderness. So when Hati was kind of like, oh, so I'm being trained the same way. Baylan said something real interesting. He was like, nah, I'm trying to teach you to be something more than that, baby girl. You ain't gonna be no regular Jedi, And he said here also that he missed the idea of what the Jedi Order used to be. He said that like he's not trying to he missed the truth of it, but I guess it fell short for him. So I guess my question for all of y'all is, what do y'all think he's actually trying to do? Do you think that Baylan is actually trying to make his own Jedi Order, but maybe in a new image, in a new way? He said that there was something on this planet that was kind of like stirring, and it was almost like a greater power that was almost calling to him as well. So this just really kind of gets me thinking about what is going on this planet and what he could be, what his master plan could be for the future, because that seems to be whatever the um, mystery, the other mystery that's going on with his character. And we only got a couple episodes to figure that out. And of course, for whatever reason, I guess he met up with the other Marauders or the other people that ambushed Sabine, and they might be making some sort of alliance to cause more problems. Meanwhile, Sabine finally meets Ezra. Okay, so after all this time, all this teasing, all this talk, she finally met Ezra. And keep in mind, they have not seen each other for 10 years. And Ezra said, man, I'm so glad you back, and I can't wait to go home. And once again, look at this face. Look at Sabine's salty face. Why? Because she knows good and well ain't no going home. You ain't bring no rescue mission. You ain't bring the troops. You ain't bring the cavalry. Ain't nobody coming to save you. She already setting him up to fail. Look at it. He got all this joy in his face. He all happy. He ready to go back, eat some space biscuits. And nah. She just set him up for more disappointment. Ain't that some mess? Back at the ship, you had the Night Sisters, and they was like, yo, we got a problem. According to the threads of fate, once again, they're trying to read the future and all that. They said, according to these threads of fate, another Jedi was on the way. And of course, they're talking about Ahsoka. So, Thrawn was kind of like, what you mean? What is this talk about Ahsoka coming through? Didn't you say that Ahsoka died and y'all took care of it? And she was like, hey, see, what had happened was Baylan, he told me that he killed her, right? And that's kind of what he was like, look, girl, I don't care about none of that. What you finna do is give me all the details. I want to know where she grew up. I want to know what she ate for breakfast. I want to know what her favorite song is, and I want to know where her ears are at. Has anybody figured out where her ears are at? Because I still don't know, and I'm still a little traumatized by that last scene where she took a headband off. Where are Ahsoka's ears? Some people say that those horn things are the ears. I don't really believe it because it's still kind of weird to me. But anyway, Thrawn wants to know everything, and this once again is the exact thing that makes Thrawn so dangerous. When this guy knows how you operate, what you think about, he will use anything to exploit you. And you have to recall, Ahsoka is very exploitable. Okay. Once he finds out, I'm telling you that if he finds out that Anakin was her master, that she was involved or whatever, and she left the Jedi Order, he will use all of that stuff to work against her. However, you still have the fact that, Ahsoka did have her whole little spiritual baptism and everything. So you might see how, like, before, when Baylan used that information against her to get the best of her and kick her off the ledge or whatever, you might see Thrawn try to use this information against her, but because she had her little baptism, she gonna be like, because I know it was the blood. I know it was the blood, Or well, actually, she'll be like, I know it was the force. I know it was the force over me, over me. And she gonna be like, nah, it ain't gonna work around here. So you might see her kind of like overcome that, even though this is a common tactic Thrawn uses. But anyway, that's where the episode ends. And now I gotta ask y'all, like, what did y'all think about this episode? Oh, wait, first, before we get to that, I gotta answer these questions. Let's see. Shogun, if I were Thrawn, I would have shot Sabine and forgot about Ezra. If Ezra was going to be a problem, he would have been already in 10 years. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. That is absolutely true. I have no idea what he was thinking with that. But maybe he's just, never underestimate a Jedi. This is something that he talked about. Don't underestimate them. So maybe he didn't want to do that. I don't know. Cover his bases. Christopher, what you got? Maybe Baylan is talking about the First Order. I'm not sure about that because I don't know the timeline. I don't know if he's talking about the First Order either. I have the impression that he's talking about more than that. I think he's going above what the Jedi used to be about and taking it somewhere higher. Because again, keep in mind, he said that it's a whole cycle. It goes back and forth over and over again. So I think he wants to break the cycle. That's what he said. And so it might be something that the Jedi Order used to be, or the First Order, but above and beyond that. But thank you so much. All right, so let's see. I think y'all jumping ahead of me. That's all good. Now, if you haven't already, give me your rating on a scale from 1 to 10. What are you rating this episode of Ahsoka? While you guys are hashing that out, let's see what I'm thinking. Loved the fact that we got the Night Sisters in here. Once again, this is a treat. I felt like this was a treat for me as someone who watched Rebels to see the animation come to life. I still feel like the whole Thrawn reveal was a little spoiled from the trailers, so I am going to dock them a little bit on that, because it could have been avoided. I think it could have been avoided. But I do like the performances here. Baylan is really got my attention. Like, I really shout out to Ray Stevenson, rest in peace. But he is doing a very good job here, and I really want to know, like, what are you trying to do? Like, what is this? And are there more people like him? Are there more orange Jedi out there? Let's see what else. The Ezra thing was okay. I felt like they could have pumped up that reunion a little more, but whatever. But I think I'm gonna give this episode, and this felt very Star Wars-ish. I think I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I think I'm comfortable with an 8.5. Um, I was gonna say 9, but I think I'm gonna go with 8.5. Yeah, I'll go with 8.5. All right, let's see where you guys land though. And what the people say, because I'm very interested in seeing where y'all land. Let's see, we got an 8, 10. Let's see, there we go. 10, 10. All right, 7, 10. All right, 10. Okay, 9.89, 8.75, 8.5 to a 9. All right, 9, 9.5, 9, 8. I like it. 8, 8.7, 9, 8.5, 9.5, 8, 8, 10, 8, solid 9. Love to see it. 8, 8, 8.5, 8.5, 9, 10, 10. What else we got? 8, 9, 8, 9.587, 9.989, and 8. All right. I like it. I like it. I like it. I think it's very clear we like this episode. I think that's right clear. Let's see what else we got here. Black Prophet, what you got? E-Man, I agree. I would have smoked Sabine on first sight. I don't care about Ezra because Sabine has been giving me a ticket back home. Facts. I give the episode a 7, kind of a little slow and boring, nonsensical. Well, I wouldn't say it was slow and boring for me, at least not for me. But I can understand that. But yeah, thank you so much. Let's see, Theo, what'd you say? 8 only because you got 30 seconds of Ahsoka. She did just give you a little sneak. That felt like a straight bait and switch. They was like, ha, look at Ahsoka. Psych, not gonna show up at all. So yeah, I guess that was something. I guess they was like, yo, we gave you all of that. We gave you all of Ahsoka in the last episode. She need a break. She need a break. I don't know. Let's see. Is this episode worth watching? I think so. I think so. Let's see. Stamina Baylan is the MVP, most interesting character on screen by several Purgle star jumps. I'd agree with that. Like, I'm every time Baylan shows up, I'm always trying to read his face. I'm always trying to see how he's feeling. Like I feel like there is still a little ounce of good in there. It's can y'all see it? I don't know if y'all can see it. It's there somewhere. But he's on a different mission. So that's the part where I'm kind of like, what is this man all about? But we gotta find out. Rims, don't do this to me. Don't get me there. Don't get me there. I can't. That was my boy. can't go there. Can't go there. Can't go there. Anyway, all right, guys, that's it. We have how many episodes left? I think we have 2 more left. I think it's only 8 episodes, right? If I'm not mistaken. So that means we got 7 and then 8. And then just as a heads up, we are going to shift from Ahsoka and we'll start covering Loki. Loki is going to be coming out on Thursday nights. So that's going to be kind of weird. I don't know how y'all want me to cover Loki because I usually try to give at least a day so people have time to watch, but like if Loki's coming out on Thursday nights, I mean, like, do we want to stay up late and cover it? Now, the downfall is I'm not going to be as prepared, right? Because if I'm not very prepared for Loki, we just gonna talk about it, and it's just gonna be straight reaction. Like I can't do the breakdown, I can't go through nothing. It's just what it is, what it is. So we could do that. It's gonna be late, but it's gonna be rough. Okay, I'm just saying it's gonna be rough. Or I was thinking, I don't know if I can go live 1 hour early before the Friday lives. Maybe we do that. Maybe we just wait till Saturday. I don't know. Whatever it is, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll sneak it in the Friday lives or something. I don't know. Somebody said take a poll. We'll figure it out one way or another. But speaking of Friday, so we do have the live chat for Friday. So make sure you tune in for that. Just a heads up, it is your boy's birthday weekend. So I don't know how much time we're gonna spend on Friday because I don't know what the missus has planned for me or not. So I might be cutting it a little short. I'm gonna still do something. Unless she's doing something that I have no idea. So I'm just giving y'all a heads up. This birthday weekend, I'm not in control on birthday weekend. I don't know what happens. I don't know what doesn't happen. So just giving y'all a heads up. For Friday. So I got that. Then we got a lot of other stuff coming up. I got some reviews coming up as well. For different movies that are about to come out. So, just stay tuned. I'm cooking on some other stuff for y'all as well. Another show that I'm looking at. Hopefully I can get that broken down for you guys and some other theory stuff. But anyway, I will see y'all here next time. So we're meeting on Friday. Then I'm gonna see y'all here Wednesday so we can talk about episode 7 of Ahsoka. But I want to say thank y'all so much for taking the time to hang out with me. It always means the world to me. And y'all know the routine. Wash your hands, wash your butts, and wash everything else in between. Have a good rest of the week until we see each other next time. And I'll see y'all. Peace.